You must have long-range goals to keep you from being frustrated by short-range failures. Charles C. Noble. Chapter 21. Embracing Failure. Life's real failure is when you do not realize how close you were to success when you gave up. Failure is an event. It is not a person. Your potential success should not be entangled in the possibility of an event, but in the possibilities of you, a person. Wise people know how to respond to failure. They understand that events and experiences can become directional tools to discover the right path of success. How someone manages perceived failure is rooted in how they see themselves. I just completed an application for a television opportunity, and the producer asked the question, "How do you handle failure? How do you behave when you win?" My answer may sound Pollyanna, but it is rooted in what I believe about myself. If, for example, I trained to run a race and lost, I would not feel like a failure. Instead, I would celebrate my best effort and realize that someone more qualified, capable, and destined to win actually won. Any other response would be self-sabotage. My approach to loss is the same in every case. Keep in mind, I may feel frustrated if I didn't give my all and lost, but it wouldn't be anger at the loss. Instead, it would be disappointment in myself for not being better prepared or equipped for the opportunity. A healthy sense of oneself will produce a healthy response to loss. Successful salespeople say that knowing that 14 out of 15 people will say no merely inspires them to quickly make their presentations to as many as possible to reach that one person who will accept. Rejection or perceived failure is part of the life cycle of success. The only true way you will know if something will work is if you try. You may try and fail, but then you will have acquired the knowledge of what doesn't work, which is equally as important as what does work. No matter what the attempt is, online dating, business startup, or marriage, they all have the potential to fall apart and fail. How you face the event will demonstrate not simply what you believe about failure, but what you believe about yourself. Say you have an idea, and you pitch your idea to a bank, and they aren't interested in your dream or what you have to say. Shake it off and move on. You present a new idea you've been working on to a senior staff at work. They're uninterested and unimpressed. Shake it off and move on. Your spouse has told you they are no longer in love with you and they have filed for divorce. Shake it off and move on. The rejection is not a death sentence. It is merely someone's opinion. Make sure you don't allow someone's opinion to define your opinion of yourself. There are things that last long after the event of failure and rejection, your hopes, goals, and dreams. Not everyone will like you, celebrate you, or care one bit about your future. But there is someone out there, it could be one person or many, who needs what you have. Your role must be to continue to develop yourself and nurture your ideas, dreams, and passions. Then identify those people who will appreciate you and your contribution. Vera Wang was a senior fashion editor for Vogue magazine for 16 years. In 1985, she left Vogue after being turned down for the editor-in-chief position. She then joined Ralph Lauren as a design director for 2 years. In 1990, she opened her own design salon in the Carlisle Hotel in New York that featured her trademark bridal gowns. I don't know what was going through her mind when she was overlooked for the editor-in-chief position. I don't know if she was offended, felt like a failure, or was too busy looking for her next opportunity to ponder it much at all. But I do know that had Vera Wang been given the position at Vogue, we may not have the treasure of her beautiful wedding gowns and extensive fashion line. She may have delayed or never tapped into her love of fashion through her own creations. The wonderful story of Vera Wang is a beautiful depiction of rejection, provoking or forcing a new path. It's a little like taking a trip to DC and the airplane experiences terrible turbulence due to storms in the region. Air traffic control denies the pilot permission to land anywhere in the area. They recommend he land in New York, where multiple departures are available for the passengers. Imagine everyone on the plane annoyed at how this has interfered with their scheduled plans. On the one hand, you're grateful the airline is making a choice for your safety and well-being, but on the other hand, your plans are now ruined and you're left having to reconfigure your schedule. Imagine further that there are no flights until the next evening, and you're now stranded in New York City. Are you the person who decides to leave the airport and explore the city you've been forced to stay in until the next night? Or are you the person who we see sleeping in the chair at the airport, miserable, mad, and seemingly lacking control of your present condition? The person who takes on the city, goes to a show, or enjoys one of New York's restaurants is a person who embraces a failed plan, makes the most of it, and doesn't allow it to define or dictate the rest of their journey. You may not have control over someone rejecting you, denying your request, falling out of love with you, or writing a bad review about you. But you can control how you respond. You can control how you map out the rest of your journey and what you choose to learn from the experience in the midst of it. You can take on the Big Apple or slouch in a chair thinking about what could have been as it eats at your core. I choose the apple.